all of last year, we saw that they beat their initial expectations, and even 4Q results were actually better than expected, but it's the guidance. It was really weak.
Hmm. I mean, I feel as though they have a pretty loyal fan base when we think about Lululemon. I've heard some people even calling the company recession proof. What is the main issue here? I mean, you mentioned the guidance, but what else has really been a drag for the company?
Yeah, I think internationally they're doing really, really well. The issue is the US business, the US consumer. The US consumer has pulled back, and quite frankly, competition has increased too, whether it's Beyond Yoga, whether it's Aloe, or some of the other brands, even Skims that are getting into this athleisure market in a more meaningful way. It is pulling away share from Lululemon because they did miss the ball 12 months ago and even before that on trends, especially.
So I'm looking at the S&P Spider retail ETF down, 13% year to date, and just from the peak of kind of November down about 18, 19%. So the retailers are really feeling it. So when you talk to clients, are they just, I'm not going to go near the retail space because I don't know how bad this potentially could get in 2025 with the U.S. economy?
Yeah, I think everyone's really concerned about inflation and how the consumer will respond to that. We're already seeing the consumer pull back, and Lululemon isn't alone to guide to a more conservative 2025. We've seen this across the board, really. And we don't know where the consumer will shape out to be. We don't know how they'll react to the inflation and how high inflation could be as the year unfolds with all the tariffs across the globe, really. China's definitely a bigger impact on the apparel companies, but with Mexico and Canada also in question and potentially impacting prices of food, there could be a bigger ripple effect on just their spending power.
Mhm. Break it down for our viewers. What type of buyer does Lululemon attract?
So they're attracting the men right now, and they're doing a very good
Say
job
what?
at it. The men's business is doing really, really well for
I didn't know
them.
there was a
Um,
men's business. I'm not
Right.
walking around in, the Lululemon pants, Poonam.
you
No,
you
am
may
I?
like them, Paul. You have to go check them out. They're actually pretty
All right.
nice.
Stretchy.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, their ABC pants, are the pants that men prefer and they love it. And I do think they're a good quality pant. But that said, the women clearly are the center and core of their business. And I think they're finally doing the right things. But it's unfortunate that we have a backdrop
Yep.
where the consumer is pulling back, that they're just going to have to navigate those tougher tides. But they do have new products that are doing well, whether it's the Glow Up, the Day Drift, the Be Calm, and also Lululemon, which is new, and it's an interesting approach to going beyond the gym and, those leggings and really going into more casual wear.
I did an informal survey of some of the uh, female members of the greater Bloomberg radio team, and Poonam, they all called out the high price point here of Lululemon, and maybe there are some substitutes out there. How does the company market its product as, given the price point?
It's a premium product, so if I saw prices fall, I would actually be concerned. And if you look at the competition in that premium category, they're right about in line with it. So I think for those that don't want premium, yes, they could trade down to an Aerie or something else. But I do think that Lululemon sits at the top of the chain when it comes to fashion athleisure product.
Mhm. But given the fact that they have a premium product that they're pushing out, doesn't that mean that they would actually attract a lot of higher income consumers? So is the issue that these consumers don't have the money to pay for the high end product, or is it just simply the fact of the competition is more interesting?
I think the competition has gotten more intense because if you look at the competition, their price points are right around theirs too. So it's not really a price point issue. That said, Lululemon has attracted that aspirational customer, right? Not
Mm.
necessarily a high-end customer that prefers the leggings because they love the brand, because it's, all over TikTok, it's all over the media, and that's what you want to wear. And people do pay up for that, especially the younger generations.